Right. Hello. Let's see. Okay, so I know we've got a bit of a delay, but that seems to be working pretty well. Okay, no worries. Right, raspberries from the garden, most exciting bit. So they're going to garden. I have a backyard. So not as many raspberries as my sister gets, but enough to make a raspberry sauce, which should be pretty decent. So I'm gonna attempt a flourless chocolate cake. I am a bit rubbish when it comes to flourless cakes. Now, you need an electric whisk really to get the eggs properly zhuzhed up so that they rise. And I'm nervously looking at the eggs. But I've got an electric mixer that's not a whisk. So I'm going to give it a go with that and see what happens. Because, you know, what's the worst that could possibly go wrong? Right? See, is anybody actually watching me? Oh, somebody is. Okay, alright. I'm not just screaming into the void. Which is nice to know. Right, okay. Because I know a number of people like watching me, but they are busy today. So, who knows? This is just me pottering around my kitchen as ever. Right. I'm probably going to end up doing a zillion things whilst I'm waiting for the chocolate to melt. So, yes, I do have flour out because I'm not totally convinced of my ability to do the crazy thing. So, I'm also going to be making Tabby some more normal cake. The main thing is I'm trying to make it dairy free as well as flourless. So, what do you think would happen? Really, anything. So I'm just putting it in the kettle, shoving that on to melt, and then I will put the oven on. So I'll then make some more normal cakes. Probably just vanilla. Have I got on? Yeah. We've got plenty of vanilla flavouring, so I'll do vanilla. And I might do some sort of funky frosting as well to go with that. And then I'm probably going to do some French onion soup and a pasta bake whilst I'm doing this. Because obviously this is well useful in terms of, have I stopped going live? Let's see. My way of monitoring my stream is totally shat itself, which is always nice. Because I've got no idea now what's happening and I can't join in with chatting. So we'll see. I'm just going to check whether they've stopped my stream again because I got reported when Global Pride was on. No, looks like it's working all right. It's probably just my connection that's a bit dodgy, which is annoying. I've been really hugely paranoid since I got reported for having Global Pride on too loudly in the background, basically. Because that was slightly frustrating. But hey. Right, okay, so that's the chocolate on to melt. There we go. I quite like bain-maries. Okay. Yeah, so I'll whip up some buns for Tabs. Because that way, the flourless chocolate cake, which may well be beyond my abilities. If it doesn't work out, then she can at least have some cake. So we're doing my tried and true methods, which basically means sugaring first. And I'm not going to make a whole load of this, because if I do make loads, then that's the point at which the flourless chocolate cake suddenly becomes amazing. And then we'll have loads and loads of cakes that we can't eat. Where is my big girl? My big girl's gone missing. So, I've got these Russian dolls. I've got 2 sets of them because my amazing Metamor bought me one, and then obviously I immediately lost her. And this is what I'm left with. And I've not got the cup measure. I don't know where it is. It friggin' vanished in the way that things vanish. No, I don't have children I can blame this on. This is purely me being incapable. Right, okay, let's try this. So, sugar. Ooh. Let's make sure the scales are... Okay, sugar, there we go. So 4 ounces of sugar, 4 ounces of not really butter, because my girlfriend is intolerant to everything under the sun. I mean, she's the most tolerant person I know, but her digestion can't cope with anything. I think I'm so funny. I genuinely do. Right, there we go. Okay, so normal ratios. Why would I lick my finger when it's got this on it? Why? It's not even butter. Butter you can vaguely understand. My natural response to having anything sticky on my hands is quick lick my finger. Right. Turn the bain-marie down. I don't know, is there a word for a fake bain-marie? Because there really ought to be. Because I've never actually used a real one. I've set up one in the oven before now, which I think is closer to a real one. Where, you know, you've got the water, you've got the oven on stupidly low, and you're just peering at it. I think it was souffles that would do like that. That'll give you guys a laugh. If I can work out a way of swiveling the camera around, I'll set it up one week so you can watch me peering into my oven, desperate to know whether my souffles are frozen. I think I did lemon souffles for a guy I was interested in. You know, and it was the sort of the thing where you put everything into the meal and you're like, and the taste is going to be such, it's going to balance with this, and you know, And obviously he just wanted to get his end away, so because I have no taste in men. So I spent forever just staring at these souffles in the oven. And the guy sort of like noms them like, oh, that's alright. I've never been in a more hetero freaking situation. Oh. I'll just be honest, I can imagine some of the women I've slept with actually having a similar response, but I think I'm more sensible with women. I know if they're going to be into me doing souffles. Or if they're really just chicken wings on the barbecue and we're done. Apparently I'm in this sort of a mood. Someone type something because I've got no idea who you are that's watching. Oh, you've gone. Oh, I'm just talking to myself at this point. Oh, excellent. In which case, hi Danny, when you wake up later and decide to watch this, I'm in this sort of a mood. Right, okay, so 4, 2. So we add the eggs before we add the flour because there's a divide that we do between wet and dry. And legit, I have actually no idea if it makes a difference or if I just think it does. And I'm probably going to do these vanilla. So I'm going to add the flavouring after I've beaten the eggs up. And then it's gluten-free flour, because obviously it is. So yeah. It's interesting actually, because I like cooking for other people. It's one of those things, like sharing food nature. It is hugely enjoyable. I'm doing a big party beginning of next month. Socially distanced, obviously. Because I'm not going to do something that's not socially distanced. And we're working out how to share the food. I'm doing a delivery of salsas and moles that I normally cook beforehand. I'm going to have to cook so much less than I do normally for people to just add to their barbecues. And then we're going to be on webcam probably screaming at each other, watching each other eat in other parts. I have no idea how it's going to go, but hey, it's one of those parties that I do. I do parties with like vaguely religious overtones because obviously, which is only weird if you're not one of the mainstream religions, to be honest, because I went to any amount of garden parties and fundraisers and all that sort of stuff when I was a kid. And if it was a church one, well, obviously that's what happened, and I meant to have vanilla, but I didn't. I could make this a colour, couldn't I? I've got loads of... Let's have a look. Make these more interesting. I've got loads of colours left over from when I did the Alzheimer's bake. So, let's have a shofty. Yeah, alright. I did pink ones. So obviously I'm adding red food coloring, so I don't think it's going to come out red. Ooh. Oh wow, I don't think I used this, which means I want to check if I've got an open red. I must have used up a different red food colouring when I did the Alzheimer's bake. So I've got all new red food colouring. So I'm aiming for pink. So obviously I had a whole load of red. Because that's how it works, right? Yeah. Oh, it's a good colour. I like this. Let's see how it works. Yes, it's going pink. They do pink food colourings, and they never work as well as you think they're going to do. Or I could just be me using the one. I don't think they work as well as you think they're going to. Right. Okay, slightly concerned that this looks a little bit like salmon now. Where's the salmon mousse? Yeah. Hopefully when it bakes it'll become a less offensive pink. We'll see what happens. Oh, this is smelling like some chocolate too. So it's always interesting when I actually smell something because I don't really have a great sense of smell. And somebody told me, like, somebody who's a medical student, so you assume they vaguely know something that they're talking about, that she doesn't think I actually am smelling something when I think I am. She reckons I'm reacting to air pressure changes, which is definitely true before it snows. That's absolutely an air pressure change. But I have some serious advantages not being able to smell things because if I'm at a friend's house and they've got cats, I have no reaction whatsoever to litter trays unless it's really bad. If it's really bad, then yeah. But it has to get pretty bad before I smell it. So when I'm smelling things like the chocolate melting, it's either got to be really quite strong, because I won't notice something subtle, or my rando medical student friend is like, no, it's air pressure change, and like, okay, if you say so. Not sure how that works. I'm making something in the kitchen, but sure, whatever. So yeah, I don't know how that works. But I do have a very bad sense of smell. Other evidence for that is I went through a serious BPAL phase. I still fucking love BPAL. One of my acquaintances, I don't really know the girl, at the start of lockdown was doing these, was using it as a sort of, I'll sell off my bits and pieces, and she was getting rid of BPAL imps, so I bought a couple on the rando, and I really like perfumes and stuff. And not every perfume, obviously, but apparently the amount to which I have to sort of shove my nose into it is a little extreme. And generally, I quite like strong scents. Probably because I can't smell the subtle ones properly. So, like, if they ever develop like glasses for your nose, I'm first in line because clearly I need some sort of something for my. It's not anosmia because I can smell medical students' air pressure changes aside. I clearly can smell something. Or at least my nose reacts in a way that I've been told all my life that is scent, so I assume it is. So it's not anosmia, paranosmia, except I don't think that's a thing, but perinosmia. Almost nosmia. To be honest, at the moment I'm just liking saying word nausea. Obviously, I suck the mixture with raw eggs off my fingers because that's what I do. Right. So, first lot of baking in the oven. 20 minutes, job done. Chocolate is almost melted. So I'm going to check the recipe for what to do with that. Because obviously I am. Flourless chocolate cake. Oh, shit. We'll see. Okay. Yeah, so just checking on amounts. Problem with recipes on the internet is that in order to get Google hits, they have to have a description at the top now, and it's like, this is so annoying. Okay. Right. So, 200 grams, right. Because obviously I'm not actually doing it to the recipe. So it's 200 grams, 6 eggs. My sister would love this. 250 grams sugar, and then cocoa powder as well. Right. Okay. Well, I'm nervous, so where is the spring pan? And what I am doing is badly. That is what I'm doing. Right. I'm just going to tip out the entirety of my cupboard onto my ingredients, because clearly that is how you get the best baking result. Right. Just grease these things. I love these things because I do a whole load of baking stuff that is like quite small. So I've got some more kind of individual pans and whatnot, which is quite good. I quite like it. Okay. Nope. I need to use gluten-free, dairy-free stuff. That's going to fall off. Anyway, I love these little spring-loaded individual pans. And yes, one of them is a low carb. Because if it goes really well, I can build cutesy tabs. But if it goes badly, oh well. The problem with me baking on YouTube all the time is that when I'm baking for my girlfriend, which is pretty much what I do, then they'll be able to tell every time I do batch baking and say, look, I baked this just for you. And it's true, I did bake this just for you. the same time, I was making almost the exact same thing to the other job. Possibly that looks less good. It's very practical though. But, oops. Right, okay, so I've greased the pans. And then I'm going to do something else. What am I going to do? I've broken the chocolate. All right, then I add the butter to the not butter to the chocolate and allow that to melt. Okay. Nice and easy. Right. So hopefully my dairy-free butter works, because the problem that you have when you just substitute dairy-free stuff into recipes, if they're expecting real butter, is it doesn't always have the same chemical reaction. So sometimes, and that means something, at best, if it goes wrong, the taste is just wrong. Which was seriously wrong with me. At worst, it's the whole thing just breaks down. Entire kit and caboodle. Right, okay, so that is going to go and melt over here, we hope. And gently stir it in. I mean, it looks really absolutely ugh right now. So I'm stirring in lumps of faux vegetable fat into chocolate. I will eventually get this set up right so you can see me doing things. But we'll work out how that goes. Oh god. Yeah, okay, this is really gross. Okay, there we go. Right, so that's just gonna melt. We hope. Who knows? That to one side. So, got that going. Got the cakes in the oven, which is pretty good. So at this point, we're just waiting for that to melt, and I probably want to start beating up my eggs. Actually, I probably don't want to do that yet, because we're hoping that yeah, as I said, we don't want to do that yet because come on, do the thing. Because you'll need to beat the eggs up so that they get very excited. But we don't want it to them to start losing their excitement and rising ability before this is cooled. So this has got to heat up and cool down. At what point? So butter, chocolate, eggs. Is there no sugar in this? Oh no, I add the sugar to the eggs. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, we're just going to be waiting for that then. That's all right. Okay. I'm going to do something totally unrelated then. And chop some courgettes. Because I'm going to make a pasta bake. And it would be quite useful to have these courgettes chopped whilst things are doing their thing. Right. Yeah, so pasta bake then. Obviously, as evidence of the fact I've got them out of the sink, I have washed them. So yeah, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to shove them under the grill with a little bit of pepper and salt on them, just to dry them out so they don't do that courgette thing. That's courgette thing of just getting all wet and soggy. Because that helps nobody. So, and also grilled with a little bit of salt and pepper on them is pretty nice. I get organic veg. Not always, because sometimes I'm too poor to. But I get organic veg because I have all sorts of bizarre things that nobody can quite put their finger on wrong with my immune system. Like, I clearly have things wrong with my immune system. Other than I have hay fever, none of the doctors are particularly interested in what I have wrong with my immune system because I'm managing okay, right? And they occasionally tell me completely wrong things. Like, I had glandular fever when I was 18, and some random doctor, like, over 10 years later, said that it looked like I had glandular fever. So this when I'm 28, and they'd done the blood test, and I had glandular fever, and I said, "Oh yeah, that's still in my system from when I was 18." And he said, "Oh no, it's not. No, it doesn't last. If you've had it once, this can't possibly be glandular fever." At which point I'm like, "But you've just told me you've done a blood test where it is glandular fever." He's like, "Oh yeah, it must be mistaken because you've already had it." I'm like, "Oh okay." Didn't quite believe the doctor, but same one told me, "Oh yeah, maybe it is glandular fever, but it's super rare for that to still be hanging around." So I believe him. Anyway, I'm reciting this to explain what's wrong with me to a friend who is from school who did medicine, and he's like, no, you've got glandular fever, it hangs around for like 10 years or whatever. Yeah, it's perfectly normal. You're not really chronically ill, you just have perfectly normal glandular fever. And I'm like, okay. So I've had glandular fever for over 10 years at that point. And you're telling me that despite being ill for 10 years, that doesn't make me have a chronic illness. And his reasoning for this was, oh yeah, because it'll go away eventually. And I'm like, okay. At what point does it going away eventually mean that this isn't chronic? Because it feels pretty chronic to me. But yeah, if you're supposed to be able to recover from a thing, it isn't chronic illness. But then it sort of crosses a line between, well, okay, I've probably got post-viral fatigue, but that's not actually supposed to last for over 10 years. So there's a thing that they call post-viral fatigue syndrome, which is basically when post-viral fatigue doesn't go away after about 5 years. All right, okay, post-viral fatigue syndrome is the one that you recover from. Chronic fatigue syndrome is the one that there's no, they can't work out, it came from this, that, or the other. But essentially, it looks exactly the same. The difference being that it's now 20 years later and I might still recover. I mean, I've had it for 20 years, but according to some people, I'm not chronically ill because I might recover. Functionally, I fail to see any difference. Because I'm living in exactly the same way as my mates who are chronically ill. The difference is maybe I might be lucky enough to recover. If I live long enough. Don't get me started on coronavirus because that's just going to depress everybody. Okay, it's gradually melting. When I say gradually, I mean gradually. For some reason I turned off the hob and I don't know why I did that because I still need it to keep going. Because I've still got those lumps of fatty butter in the chocolate. Since it's not that pleasant. Not even slightly. Right, okay, so that's the courgette ready. I may as well. I cheat, I boil the kettle at the drop of a hat if I've got to put things in pans at more hot water because it's quicker. So, yes, that'll be the macaroni. And to be honest, I may as well just keep going and put all the ingredients together. So that's done. I'm ready to go. And then we'll get back to the much more exciting and interesting eggs. So yeah. Cherry tomatoes are the ones that my girlfriend can only have in small quantities because they are, I don't know, they're on the FODMAX restricted list. FODMAX being an acronym that you can look up because I can't remember what it is. Okay. I think the fact that there's a whole load of people telling me that I'm not really chronically ill because 20 years later I might possibly recover. That's why I definitely don't like using the term disabled. So a lot of people use it as interchangeable with chronically ill. And if I'm not really chronically ill, so like I said, functionally there is no difference between me and somebody with chronic fatigue, then I definitely can't abuse the term disabled. And yeah, I follow the social model of disability, so absolutely, society disables me. If I start saying that, unless I'm having a very particular conversation with people who understand my point. It feels like I am rendering effectively pointless the very necessary term disabled. So there you go, things that I think about while I'm cooking. Delicious Philosophy Hour, terms one can use. I'm friends with an awful lot of very, very smart people. Oh, come on. And this not butter will not melt. I mostly find myself sort of sitting back and going, okay, interesting. Okay. Right, so that needs to melt and then cool. They need to do their thing and dry out because courgettes. And I've chopped some tomatoes. Do I want to make it a tomato sauce? Do I want lumps of tomato? Don't know. I'll make that decision later. I probably do want to grate some cheese though. I mean, that's the other thing. You're watching me pot around a kitchen talking about my fatigue. I'm not even drinking anything caffeinated or sugar-filled this week. It's like, you're going, she's not really ill, though, is she? No, she's fine. It's like, yeah, you haven't seen me for the rest of this week. I do things in fits and starts. Doesn't help that for ages and ages my anxiety manifested itself physically. That was fun. Not being able to tell if you just feel really panicky or you're genuinely knackered. Yay. That was another thing. I was supposed to be getting another round of therapy and then lockdown. Like, everything just went on hold. Very annoying. Okay, so cheese, which I've grated over here, so I need to clean that up. And I've got macaroni on. And, ooh, that is beginning to look that nice sort of golden warm brown thing. It's still a little bit lumpy, but it is beginning to look, the chocolate I'm talking about now, like it's supposed to, which is good. Right, so put the cheese over here. Give this a bit of a wipe down so that I've not just dairy all over. Okay, good. Feel good fun. I've got my viewer back. Either that or I've got a new one. Who knows? Hello. Feel free to type something. Right. So currently I am melting chocolate. I have chopped veg, I've wiped down. I've got raspberries from the backyard here, which is awesome. I have my eggs. That's looking pretty good, to be honest. So I'm just waiting for this. Right, yeah, I think that. Okay, that chocolate and not butter mix has melted. So I'm going to add a spoonful of camp coffee in this, which I'm just checking, yep, that my girlfriend can indeed cope with. And then I'm going to let that cool down. Stir that in. I know not everybody likes the chicory flavour in camp coffee, but I really do. So I tend to use it when it says a spoonful of coffee. I know some people use cold instant or whatever, but I'd rather have canned coffee in. Okay, so I'm waiting for that to cool down. I'm probably taking it out of the hot water. It's going to expedite that a bit. That there. Yeah, that's starting to do its cooling thing. Right, okay, in that case, let's get these eggs sorted and see if I can actually get them beaten to a standard that will work. Because with the flourless cakes, the key thing is always the eggs. My sister is so weird about eggs. She's like got a real need to have a whole load in at any given time. Like seriously bizarre about it. So occasionally she gets too many in. So she would probably be absolutely thrilled with this recipe because it calls for half a dozen eggs. Which seems an awful lot, so I'm just going to double check. Does it really call for half a dozen eggs? I mean, I'm pretty sure it does, but let's just double check. Really? Half a dozen? Yep, half a dozen. Okay. Oh, I'm supposed to be separating the eggs. Yeah, you add the sugar to the yolks and then you beat up the egg whites. That makes so much sense. Right, okay, this is going to be fun then, isn't it? Oh. Okay. Again, because I nearly did that. Oh, shit. Right. Okay, that was smoothly done. Right. So now that I actually am aware of what I'm doing, and I have to admit that does make a lot more sense. So we've got 2, 3, separate egg yolks and egg whites, fantastically messy fashion. Okay. 3, 4, Oh, it's just such concentration as well. I hate it when they've got the stringy bits. And you're desperately trying to separate the egg whites and the yolks. The stringy bits are just sort of trying to keep on. Okay, so that's 4. 2 more to go. Shit. Okay. We've got a broken yolk. That I am still managing to keep separate because the genius that is me. Okay, right. Final egg. I'm just going to wash my hands because they're all slimy with egg bits. Really lovely. And actually, at risk of distracting myself immediately before the final egg, just going to see if the cakes that I put in are ready to come out. Yeah, they pretty much are. Actually, they may have been in a tad too long. Hum. And the macaroni on the hob is doing all right, so that's good. The chocolate is looking pretty good and beginning to cool down, so that's good. And we've got a final egg to separate. Okay. Yes. Yes, Queen. Come on. Do your thing. Do your thing. I have to admit, I'm not being as totally precise with this because A, I forgot I was supposed to separate the eggs, and B, they're going to go back together anyway. Right, so looking how I thought I was going to get the stiffness you need without separating them, I don't know. I'm also slightly concerned because I'm doing this with a hand blender, not a proper whisk. It's getting there, but it's still mostly liquid more than foam. I am slightly concerned that I'm not going to be able to get the stiff peaks that I need without the without having a whisk attachment. But we'll see how that goes. I have no idea how that one's. Because I don't think I've got a hope in hell of doing this by hand. Well, it is doing some better. I'm really using this hand blender improperly. It's getting quite warm. I think what we've taken from this, if anything, is I really need to have an electric whisk. I miss it so much. I'm concerned because this is getting really quite warm, so let's see if I can do anything by hand. Actually, we're not far off stiff peaks. I mean, we're not far off stiff peaks if I kept going with the electric. It's just the fact that it's so probably quite far off with the fork, really. Just gonna get the courgettes out from under the grill. Shove the rest of the courgettes under the grill, and then go back to hopefully whisking up my egg whites. They are cunning. It's just a matter of like not really having the right tools for the job, which I knew was a problem going into this with the whole flourless cake thing. So, I have nobody to blame but myself trying to get stiff peaks and egg whites with like an electric hand blender, not a whisk. I really want to be able to afford my cheap KitchenAid equivalent again, because that was very pleasant to use. I really enjoyed that. So yes, okay. The rest of the courgettes are now going under the grill, so that mine has to bake later this week. And the macaroni's finished cooking, so I'm going to turn that off. Right, have you cooled down? It is getting there. It's just what it's doing to the freezing that I don't because with these cakes, the solidity from how much you do to the eggs beforehand. I mean, we've got time because the chocolate's going to take forever to cool down. But what I think I really want to do, I'm getting a call. Yeah, and they hang up because they're not genuinely a call, they're just a robot. Right, okay. Let's add the sugar to the egg yolks. I can probably do that by hand. And then come back to the egg whites. So it's 250 grams of sugar. There we go. Mixed in with the egg yolks. Until they go pale and fluffy. Because obviously. And yeah, that's quite nice music. I do love using caster sugar over granulated sugar. Just because it feels nicer. It's like it's almost velvety, silky sort of. Well, it looks more like velvet now. It's mixed in with egg yolks, but it's just pleasant. I don't know. There's something very nice about it. Right, and it also looks quite exciting with a yellow colour. This up for very long. I mean, I can mix, but this is. So what I'm aiming for is that thing where you can turn the bowl upside down and nothing falls out. And we are so far off that. And this is just getting really hot, actually. So, stop that. It's like the majority of the stuff in this bowl is foam. So, that's cool. But there's an underlying sort of liquid that's just not coming. I mean, do I need it to be that stiff? Come on, tell me. Because if I don't need it to be quite that stiff, that would be quite nice. Whisk the egg whites until soft peaks form. We're not far off soft piece, to be honest. It's just me